This video covers volume of prisms. Please be sure to take notes for your journal. First, we're going to go ahead and review the 3 different prisms. The first type of prism, and the easiest one to work with, is going to be a rectangular prism. The second type of prism that we usually study is going to be a triangular prism. And the third kind of prism that we study is a cylinder. Every time we work with a prism, the first thing we'll do is shade the bases, just like before. So on a rectangular prism, remember, the bases are on the top and bottom. The prism has to be sitting on one of the bases, and the other one is always on the top. It doesn't matter if there's one already shaded. You have to shade the one it's sitting on and the one on the top. For a triangular prism, we're just looking for the 2 triangles. So that one's easy to do. On this one, they're at the front and the back. And the shape of the bases of a triangular prism are triangles. For the cylinder, we're looking for circles as the bases. So once you find the 2 circles, all you have to do is shade them in. If you look on the formula chart, you'll see that the formula to find the volume of a prism is V for volume equals capital B, which means the area of the base, H, height of the base. So we use this same formula for all of the prisms. Let's go ahead and get started on actually using the formula. Our first problem is here. The first thing we need to do is shade our bases. One of the bases is hidden. If it wasn't hidden, it would be right here, and we would be able to shade it in. You don't have to do this on your paper, but you do have to shade in the top base. I just wanted to give you a reference of where the other base was. Once you shade the bases, we're going to redraw the base and label it. So our base is a rectangle that's 3 inches here by 4 inches here. Now this 10, the number left, is our height of the prism. So we're going to go ahead and label that and circle it right on our figure. Now that we've redrawn the base shape, we can go ahead and answer the questions on the right. It said the base shape, so we know that it's a rectangle. We have to be careful because sometimes it's an actual square if the sides are the same. So the area formula for this comes directly from the formula chart, which is area equals base times height. Now we're going to go ahead and find that. All we need to do is the base times the height. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now the volume formula, as I mentioned on the last page, is volume equals area of the base times the height of the prism. The thing is, we have to work with two heights. This height in the area formula and this height in the volume formula, and they're not the same. The height that goes on the area formula is just the height of the base, so it's actually 4. The height on the volume formula is the height of the entire prism, which we've already circled and labeled, so we shouldn't get those mixed up. Not this time, not ever. Now, we need to find out the volume of the figure. Well, we've already said that the formula is volume equals area of the base times the height. So now all we have to do is plug in our numbers. We've already figured out that the area of the base equals 12 and the height of the prism is 10. So let's go ahead and plug those in and get the answer. 12 times 10 is 120, and then we have to add our units of measure. So since it's volume, the inches will be cubed. And that's the answer. So simple. So on the line we would put 120 inches cubed. Now if you notice, on a rectangular prism, to find the volume, we could have simply multiplied all three of these numbers. 3 times 4 is 12 times 10 is 120, and that's what we got. But that's not good enough in 8th grade math. We need to actually practice using the formula so that when we get to much harder formula, it's easy for us. Let's move on to number 2. This time we're going to be finding the volume of a prism. The prism named a cylinder. It's the same drill. We're going to shade the bases. We can only see one, so that's the one we'll shade. The other one is hidden. It's sitting on it. But if you sketch that out, you'll notice that it is under there. Now, the 8 on the side is the height of the prism. We're going to go ahead and label that and circle it, because we'll need that. Now we're going to redraw the base and label it. The base is a circle and the radius is 2. Now we can go ahead and answer the questions on the side. The base shape is a circle. The area formula for that is going to be area equals pi radius squared. Now we're going to find the area of the base using that formula. Area equals pi r squared. I'm going to move down here so that I can show my work. So for pi, they want us to use 3.14. The radius is 2, and we need to represent that twice. So first, I'm going to multiply the 2 times 2 because I don't have to deal with the decimal yet. And now, I'll go ahead and multiply with my decimal. 3.14 times 4. 16, 5, 12, and I need to be very careful when I go ahead and move over for my decimal places. I've noticed that a lot of my students don't do the loops, and they get this all wrong. You need to make sure that you're counting and showing your work. So this area is actually 12.56. If that decimal place is in the wrong spot, you're going to get it wrong. So the area of the base is 12.56. Now the volume formula, as we mentioned before, is volume equals area of the base times the height. We've already found the area of the base to be 12.56, And the height of the prism, we circle that at the beginning. It's 8. So now all we have to do is multiply those. 12.56 times 8, and we'll have our answer. 48, carry my 4. 40 plus 4 is 44, carry my 4 again. 16 plus 4 is 20, carry my 2. And 8 plus 2 is 10. Again, I have to make sure to account for the correct decimal place. I have 2 places to move over from the right. 1, 2, and it goes here. So the answer is 100.48. So 100.48 centimeters. What's the correct unit of measure? Cubed. You got it. Let's move on to the next one. Now please remember that you're not supposed to be writing your notes as you're learning this or watching me teach it to you. It's going to do you no good when you go back to try to do your problems. You need to actually watch this and try to focus on learning, and then you can go back and write in the numbers. It's no big deal. Problem 3 is a triangular prism. So we're going to shade our triangles as the bases. Here's one in the front, and we've seen this problem before, and one in the back. Now that we've shaded our bases, we can pick out the height of the prism fairly easily. It's the length that separates the 2 bases. Now we're going to redraw our base and label it 6. The height is 4. And now we need to label the sides of the prism as well. Do we? Don't we? Let's see. The area of the base requires the base times the height. We don't actually have to find the perimeter, so we have all the information we need. Now, the base shape is a triangle, of course. Go ahead and fill that in. The area formula is area equals, for a triangle, is base times height divided by 2. So let's find the area of this base. We need the base, which is 6, times the height, which is 4, and divide that by 2. We would get 12 divided by 2, or 6. So the area of our base is actually 6. The volume formula is volume equals area of the base times the height of the prism. So all we have to do is multiply these two numbers. 6 times 10, and we would get 60 meters cubed. Moving on to the last one in our notes. Number 4. This one is a different triangular prism. But if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Let's go ahead and work this one now. The first thing we need to do is shade our bases. Well, it's really easy to see the 2 triangles, so we'll go ahead and shade those in. Now we're going to determine what the height of the prism is. All we have to do is put equals h and circle it so it stands out for us later. We're going to redraw our base. It's a right triangle this time, and label it 3 by 4. Now we can go up top and start to answer the question. The base shape, again, is a triangle. The area formula is area equals base times height divided by 2. The area of the base is going to be, let's see, the base of the triangle is 4. The height of the triangle is 3. We have to be sure that we don't accidentally use the height of the prism, divided by 2. So we have 12 divided by 2. Oh, we got 6 again. So the area of the base is 6. The volume formula is volume equals area of the base times the height. So all we have to do is plug in our numbers now. We just found the area of the base to be 6, and the height of the prism is 10. We circled that from the beginning. So that's going to give us 60 meters cubed. Now that we've finished all of the problems, it's time for you to rewind the video and replay it so that you can copy your notes down. Remember, I'm giving you my best, so please do your best when you watch the videos. It does you no good to sit and not really focus or pay attention because this is your learning opportunity. If you do it correctly, you'll be fine. Don't cheat yourself from your education. This concludes the video on volume of prisms. Make sure you do your practice problems so that you can stay with us during stations on the following school day.